Hey coaches, just a quick insights video on a commonly asked about topic, and that is what are some of the ways we can frame the purpose of a coaching session or a coaching relationship? This often comes up in a first coaching session or some sort of intake session when a person is just demonstrating a little bit of interest in coaching in general, like, hey, so what do you do? What's the point of it all? And so, three ways to frame it. I mean, one sometimes purpose of coaching is to be extra accountability driven and extra kind of problem solving. But that's not really at the core of what makes coaching coaching. At its core, coaching is about helping the person transform and see long-term growth. And that usually happens in one of three ways. The first way is for us to work together on small behavior change towards a longer-term objective. Oftentimes, this is around becoming more productive, gaining more exposure with the executive team. This can be around habit formation, around time management concepts, and whatever habit or change, behavior change needs to be put into place. It usually takes short, an iterative approach where we make little adjustments along the way in the coaching process. The other primary purpose of coaching, number two, I should say, is really an introspective focus to where we're helping the individual become more self-aware, to grow in their understanding of what their purpose is, what their long-term objectives and goals ought to be in the very first place. Like, what are their values? And so this is the kind of precursor to being able to have transformation. Transformation comes from behavior change as the person's putting into place behaviors that help them achieve what they want in the long run. But sometimes when we're working with someone who is just getting into the coaching experience, they're not ready for behavior change because they don't know what behavior to change. They need more of an introspective approach that helps them understand who they are, who they want to become, what their drive is, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and their overall passion, what they want to make some sacrifices for in order to accomplish with their lives. Then they can become more behavior focused. Thirdly, and finally, the main purpose of coaching for some can be a regular place to think. These are often arrangements for people who have very good self-awareness. They have done plenty of introspection in the past. They have also put into place a lot of behavior in order to get where they are today. I often find myself doing this type of coaching with executives that are very highly functioning, and they don't necessarily need to see concrete improvement. Instead, they want to use the coaching almost as a way to do maintenance for their thinking. If you think about an executive, someone who is at the very top of their organization, it can be hard to find time to dedicate to executive thought. And so having a coaching relationship keeps them accountable to slowing down, to taking 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour a week or every 2 weeks to think together with another brain, helping them ask the right questions, helping them think about what's going on, even if there's not a very concrete objective they're working towards in the long run. The long-term objective is for them to have time to think. So every session will often have a new agenda, and sometimes these sessions will go a little bit shorter because at that time they might not need to do too much slower thinking, but it's still very valuable as an ongoing maintenance for critical and executive thinking. I hope this is helpful, looking at three primary purposes of coaching and ways a coaching session or coaching relationship can be focused. And in a longer term, maybe one or longer than a year arrangement, sometimes you'll see a person go from one to the next, even to the next, and that can be a very rewarding experience. But that's it for this Insights video. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for coaching.